Hey besties, welcome back to the Cozy Corner. It's your girl Jen, and if you're new here, welcome. Just a regular old college student at Cal State Dominguez, but if you're not new here, welcome back to the chaos. Welcome to part two of literally the best books that I've ever read in 2025. I've literally been thinking about this stuff all day. I'm so excited to get into it with you guys. Yes, it is a bit late for me. It is 6 p.m. in the night, in the afternoon, in the evening, and the only reason it's like late for me per se is because I have to get up early tomorrow. Like so early because I have work from 6:30 to 12:30. Oh my god. I have a love-hate relationship with these like early shifts. Like yes, it's only 6 hours and yes, I get out early and yes, I get weekend pay, which I think means that like I think it's like 1.25 times the pay or something like that. So it's like regardless, I'm so grateful, right? But also like it's so early. And normally it'd be fine because by the time I get home, it's like almost 1:30. I get to work out. I'm like done for the day by 4 max, like for workout wise, and I just get to hang out for the rest of the day. But tomorrow I'm gonna be going to see the new Did y'all see that? I'm so sorry if that didn't get on camera. That is hilarious. Tilly's my cat. If you don't know, we're on a tangent here. ADHD is like kicking in, and the chaos is chaosing. So Tilly just like jumps up in the air. She doesn't get a whole lot of zoomies, and her zoomies are so random that like they flabbergast herself. Because she's such a chill cat. She's very introverted. She's very shy. She's very chill. She's very like 40-year-old auntie leaving me alone. So like to see that is hilarious. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. I'm gonna go see the Avatar movie tomorrow with my bestie. I'm so excited because I love the Avatar series. I'm not gonna lie. Literally from the first movie from like way back when I was a child. I was like mid like teens, and to see that like come so far almost a decade later, and then for the movie to be so amazing, the second one, for them to immediately release the third one, I guess like almost a year later or like a little over a year later, peak perfection. I am calling it now. No spoilers, come on guys, but by the time this comes up I will have seen it already, so it doesn't matter. I'm calling it right now. Quaritch and the fire girl, I'm just gonna call her the fire girl because I don't know what her name is yet. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it on. They're gonna become the baddies that they are. So, anyways, long story short, very excited. So I want to upload it. I want to not upload the video, but I want to record this video tonight so that I can forget about it and do it tomorrow. Upload it, edit it, do all the stuff on Sunday. If that makes sense, it doesn't make sense. But let's move on, right? So we're talking about May. The month of May, I only read 5 books that month, and I'm gonna consider. No, I did not read 5 books. I read. Wait, one. I can't count. Two, three, four. 4 plus 3 is 7. So yeah, I have read 7 books. We're just gonna count the trilogy as one book because I rated the entire trilogy of 4.75 stars, and that was the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Yes, your girl loves Lee Bardugo for the most part. I read the Crooked Kingdom dual. No, that's not what it's called. I read the what is it called? Oh my gosh. Um, I'm blanking hard here. Six of Crows duology. There we go. I read that one like a long time ago. Loved it. Literally ate that up, left no crumbs. And I'm very excited for the new book that's going to come out regarding some pen pal letters. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for it. I'm very much looking forward to it. But then I was like, well, this is part of a whole series and universe, and so I want to go down into the Grishaverse, and that I did. And this brings us to the first series, very YA. Like just go into reading that, knowing that it will be very YA compared to the Six of Crows duology. Completely different vibe. In the Six of Crows, we're following like a group of characters going on a heist. They're all baddies. They're all like just misfits, miscreants, like low lies, but they be getting it done. It's giving Unhinged. It's giving Arcane, but make it Grisha. It's amazing. I loved it. I keep wanting to say Six of Crows because I would much rather prefer to talk about that all day, but we're talking about Shadow and Bone. That one starts at the very, very beginning. We're following Alina Starkov and Mal. Yes, his name is Mal. They grew up together. They are childhood besties. They ended up going into the army together because why the fuck not? They're cartographers, which means they make maps. That's all that I remember. And so one day, Miss Alina goes into the forest. I think it's against her will. It's part of like her, not against her will per se, but it's like it's part of her mission, part of this, whatever the heck. And not necessarily a forest, but it's called something else. It's like the void, the divide, the something something, the shadow, not literally, but anyway, she goes into this void, I guess, void forest. Yeah, we can call it that. The Rift. Yes, there we go. We're gonna call it the Rift now. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, guys. I'm all over the place. But anyways, what else is new? So she goes into the Rift, and something ends up happening. Like, so the Rift, if you don't know, is like this really spooky place where the shadow person made, and like all of these like really crazy, like demon-esque figures, like just go bump in the night essentially. And so things go bump in the night because, of course, and Alina ends up having powers. And what the fuck is that about? So she saves the day because she's a badass bitch. Then she comes back with her crew, mostly kind of not really intact. And everybody's like, how the fuck did y'all survive? And they didn't even get across the rift. They said, "Weep. No, I'm just kidding. Bye bye." So they came back to the freaking like the encampment that's outside. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? And then in this world, Grisha are like these magical creatures, not being they're not creatures, they're people, but like these magical beings that are able to control specific elements. And the there's like specific like not faction but like specific types of magic that are used primarily popularly, if that makes sense, but there's only one person who can wield shadow power. So yes, we have Shadow Daddy in this, but I know what you're thinking. We do not like him. Do not look at him. Do not talk to him. Do not think he's cute, because yes, he is, but that doesn't matter because he's bad. He's very evil, and we don't like him around here. And so we prefer the golden retriever best friend bestie, Mr. Mal. Yes, he is our boy. He is our guy. But anyways, let's go back to Alina because she's the one that matters, right? So Alina ends up having these light powers, and so essentially she goes to this war college, basically Basquiat, but not really. And then she ends up getting not indoctrinated, but very manipulative, very brainwashed, and so the story goes from there. Brainwashed by that. What? Oh yeah, guys, I'm all over the place. It's been a day. I just got back from work if you don't know, but anyway, she ends up getting like manipulated by the Shadow Daddy, and then things go from there. We have to stop him. We got to save the world. Typical story behavior, but absolutely amazing. I am so looking forward to possibly next year, maybe not really. Going into the Nikolai and Petra, whoever the heck is else like in that duology. Jamie read it, the King of Scars, and the I think it's the second one, but like whatever the heck Nikolai's side quest story is, very excited to go into that next year. But that doesn't matter because we're still in 2025, believe it or not. It is December 19th, y'all. We're about to be over. We only have 12 days. It's crazy to think about. We're about 12 days after the year, y'all. See y'all next year. Just kidding. Anyway, so move on, right? So moving on. That was a 4.75 stars. Absolutely loved it. This is also the same exact month that I started with my book club that didn't really go anywhere because your girls that were in the book club can't do anything. Like we would love to just start on something, but we can't finish it because we're just girls at the end of the day. So some of us read these books, some of us didn't. That's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm still gonna read it at the end of the day, and that's all that matters because again, this is my channel, this is my life. I'm the main character. We got to know. That didn't make sense, and I'm so sorry. But anyways, moving on. So the deal by Elle Kennedy. So the deal is this girl goes to college and she finds this cute guy, and he's on this hockey team, and then is it a hockey romance? Yes, it is. Then they, have some nice spicy sex, and we move on to the next character, literally. And so I highly recommend. It's literally just fluff. I read these books, these romance books, like for fillers. Like those are the purposes of the romance books in my life because I love fantasy primarily. If y'all didn't know, hello, welcome to my channel. But anyways, yeah. So that's the deal, right? So deal, I gave 4 stars. Moving on to June. Let me just look real quick because yeah, this was indeed a month. Was indeed a month. If you guys don't know, I keep talking about this series and I will not let it die for some reason because I did let it die as an idea DNF'd it. But let's talk about the From Blood and Ash series and Flesh and Fire series. Now, I don't know where in these series these book lands on, and I don't know what it's about, but hey, this happened in June, and so hey, we're going to talk about it because these are the best books of 2025 that I read this year. Part 2. Welcome to the video, right? So A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. If you don't know, this series is really annoying. The two interconnected series, the prequel and the regular series, From Blood and Ash and the Flesh and Fire, they tend to have names that coincide with the series name. For example, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire is not in the Flesh and Fire series, it's in the From Blood and Ash series. Actually, it's from the Blood and Ash series because From Blood and Ash is the first book in the Blood and Ash series. And let me tell you one more thing, right? So, what is it called? Oh, so Born of Blood and Ash is actually part of the Flesh and Fire series. And what else is there? Anyways, you get the point, right? So I decided to buy these books one by one because your girl got to have the whole series if she's going to take the plunge and go into a series. And so I bought these books one by one at Book Off. I made the hellish mistake of not doing my research before I picked up the book and bought it. And so now I accidentally bought the second book in this other series, and now I have to complete the whole set because I need to have the whole thing. Um, and that was a mistake on my part. Much dollars, many a dollar were spent. But let's stop getting off topic, and get back on topic for a couple seconds, right? Before the ADHD brain goes left. A Kingdom in Flesh and Fire is the second book in the From Blood and Ash series, the Blood and Ash series, right? We've been over this, and we're following Poppy. I'm sorry, it's been a minute and I forgot what the series was about. So we're following Poppy. I'm not going to tell you much about what the second book is about because clearly it's the second book in the series, and so you should read the first book first. That makes sense, right? But Poppy is this innocent being. She's like this. She's not a princess, but she's like a maiden, essentially, literally. And so she's supposed to be sold off and like sell her virginity to this guy to become whatever the fuck, like some high priestess or whatever. That doesn't even make sense, but that's like basically what I'm remembering it as. So that's what will be in my brain. So at night she sometimes get these little urges, because as one does, because when you're young you get horny and you just want to experience life, and so she goes to a brothel. What? She goes to a fucking brothel and meets this guy. They end up not having sex, but kind of having sex, but not really having sex. They don't actually have intercourse, but they do a bunch of other stuff, right? The next day, basically, she finds out that he's gonna be her guard. How embarrassing. It's like this one night stand, and then you find out the next day that this guy's gonna be in your class. That's insane. It's so awkward. But anyway, he's gonna be her knight or guard, something like that. And then something happens, and then he whisks her away, kidnaps her, because why the fuck not? They fuck in the forest. He finger fucks her in the forest. Like, insane, right? Like, okay, so this is a very, very spicy book already, and we're barely like halfway in. Literally. And so he takes her back to his keep. He's part of this rebel group or something like that, and then they have actual sex, and then it becomes like an enemies to lovers situation, and it kind of got annoying, but I was like, hey, I'm here for the vibes. And I want to find out what the fuck is the story's in about. So at the end of, oh my gosh, I'm breaking things. At the end of book one, something significant happens to Poppy, because she's the main character, so if she dies, it's really bad for the rest of the series, right? Series is over, she's dead. And so what the fuck else was I gonna talk about? Yeah, so she comes back to the life in the second book. Literally. And then a whole bunch of other stuff happens. This book I clearly liked enough to give a 4.75 stars. It wasn't a 5-star. This entire series got DNF if you didn't know. I gave up. I'm so sorry, Lauren. I love you, bestie. It just wasn't for me, and that's okay because rating is objective. Anyways, moving on, right? So I'm not gonna talk about any of these other books because I don't really want to, because the rest of them were 4 stars, and I had too many 4 stars that month to really want to talk about them, because that's too many minutes on this video already. But in July I DNF'd the series. Literally, the Born of Blood and Ash series. I'm sorry, the Born of Blood and Ash book in the Flesh and Fire series. I DNF'd at 15%. So sorry, it just wasn't for me. That's okay. I give it a 2-star. Was that fair because I DNF'd it? Probably not. But hey, it is it's my life, and so that is what I do. I do what I is. That doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter. So the top book on this month was, oh, I'm so excited to talk about these books. Okay, yeah. I remember this book. I loved it. This is the Beningings, right? So I'm going to be talking about the Wren and the Holly cycle. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or a quartet, or if we're going to keep on going, and I could eat every single book on this list. So first off, I guess we have to talk about the 4.5 star before we go into the 4.75 star, because we got to talk about the first book first. The Wren and the Holly Library versus The Robin on the Oak Throne, book 1 and 2. You will find out why those books are titled the way that they are when you read them. I'm not going to give you the answers because that's a spoiler, and you should go read them yourself, because they are absolutely beautifully and amazing. And dude, the artwork on these books and these covers, oh dude, dying, busting, eating it up. Like, girl, give it to me, please. The next book comes out next year, obviously, and I'm so excited to pre-order it. And I think I pre-ordered it already, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to get my grubby little hands on it, and I'm so excited. Anyway, let's talk about it, right? Wren in the Holly Library. I forgot the girl's name and I forgot the guy's name, so we're gonna call them FMC and MMC respectively. Respectfully, I'm so sorry. So the FMC is this thief, part of this, like, I guess, gang, not really, but she's like just trying to get the monies, as we all are. And so she breaks into this guy's house. She's a thief, like I mentioned before. And so she breaks into this guy's house. She's like, why the fuck doesn't this guy have any security? I basically just walked through the front door, literally. And so she finds him in his library, and he's like, I've been expecting you. Not really, but like essentially. And so he catches her red-handed, and he's like, how did you get past my words? Question mark. And she's like, you got words? What the fuck is that? Magic is also a thing in this world. Some people do, some people don't have it. And we find out who does and who was later, right? Exactly. So he finds her in his library, literally, run in the Holly Library. Yes, exactly. That's the title of the name, title of the book. Um, so he finds her and he's like, "What you doing, baby girl? What you doing in my office? Why you here? What you need? What you need, Jellybean?" Anyway, and she's like, "Well, I didn't know that you had wards up. I'm so sorry. I kind of just walked right in because you left your fucking door unlocked, and so I just came right in and stole some stuff, and I'm gonna head out. Bye." And he's like, "No, come back here." I believe he holds her captive somehow, and I thought it was hot, but I forgot the scene of what it happened, of what in occurred. There's a word that I'm looking for that is not there in my brain, but it's fine. It's late for me. Um, so he holds her there. He makes a deal with her. Now she's gonna work for him, and he's gonna find out what the fuck is up with her because she's autistic. Essentially, like, she's not right in the world that they're living in. So, if they're not right, then they're autistic, they're neurodivergent. And hey, your girl's a certified neuro right here. Hey, baby girl, what's up? Yeah, so the story goes from there. And I'm not making any sense because, again, I'm exhausted. But hey, we're here and I loved it. And that's all that matters. And so they essentially start going on this little journey to complete more heists because, vibes. Because they're collecting these things because apparently on the solstice, the summer or the winter, I have no idea. These two deities are going to go at it, and whoever wins is basically like Groundhog Day, low key, because you know how with Groundhog Day the rule is like if the groundhog sees his shadow and runs or something like that, it's going to be spring or vice versa. I have no idea. It's essentially that, but not really. So whoever wins on the summer solstice, if the Winter King wins, the Winter King will rule the summer, and then the summers will be like dark and cold, and vice versa. If the Summer King won on the winter solstice, then the winter will be long and hot, something like that. So he's not he actually, we don't know who he is yet, but the deity is trying to find these artifacts to boost his power or something like that. And so the MMC and the FMC go on these heist missions. And so they're going to like these fancy galas. She gets to like be a baddie. She's got the thin waist, fat ass, pretty face. Like, oh, it's so good. I'm loving it. I fucking ate it up. Breakfast, lunch, and crumbs, left no crumbs. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, left no crumbs. Here we go. The second book gets even better because something happened at the end and somebody did not win. Again, I don't know who it was because I forgot. So even if I wanted to tell you a spoiler, I couldn't because I don't know who the deities were that we were like on, what sides we were on, right? Because it's been a minute since I read this book. I read this book in July, so it's been a hot minute. Hey, we're here. We're new here. If you're new here, hello, welcome. Moving on because your girl doesn't make any sense on a good day. So we're gonna move on to Final Gambit was a 4.75 star, and so was the goal. So I guess we're oh. No, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. We had some 5 stars in August. Let's talk about it. Okay, so we're gonna go first into Games Untold. I'm pretty sure this is not part of the original quartet of the Hawthorne Legacy. And so I will only tell you, because technically this is book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Book 5 in the series. And so vibes. If it is part of the original series, I'm just talking my ass off here. But anyways, Games Untold, I gave a 5 star. And again, I have no idea what they're about, but hey, I'm going to talk about what the first book is about. And you're just going to have to read it for yourself and go from there like I did because I dove into this. I was eating a book a day. Insane. And these were like 375-page books and, and going on and counting. So we're talking about Avery in this series. In the first book, I gave a 4.5 stars. So, like, still a really good book, but, like, we're just going to talk about the inheritance games, and you can read Games Untold in your own time because apparently it's the best book because I gave it 5 stars. But in the Beningings, exactly. So Avery Grams, she's a poor student at this school for high school or something like that, and she's trying to save up money to go to college because she's broke as fuck. Did I mention she's broke as fuck? And so her sister's working at this diner, I think, that she owns, and I believe they live on the top floor or something like that. But her sister has an abusive boyfriend, and so the younger sister Avery is like, fuck that, I'm not leaving my car. The next day something happens at school and she gets called to the principal's office. What the fuck did Avery do? She's trying to wonder that while she's wandering down the hall to go to the principal's office. And so when she walks in, the principal's acting like he's a fucking prick. Like, he's just a douchebag, but like he's acting all fucking like, oh my gosh, like, welcome Avery Grams. I have my bestie here and he's gonna tell you what the fuck's going on. And she's like, what do you want? Give me some. Like, what do you want, right? And so So we see this tall, I don't know what the features are, but like this really tall, handsome, attractive man. And he's like, "You've been summoned to my house." And she's like, "What the fuck? Is everybody high?" And her sister there too. She's like, "Are you in on this?" And she's like, "I have no idea. I'm just here for the vibes. I just got called here. And here I am." And so apparently Avery Grams was mentioned in a will, and she's going to be getting a significant amount of money soon. But she doesn't know that. Nobody else knows that. All that they know is that she's been summoned to the will reading, to the mansion to read the will. So she goes there. First class tickets. First class experience, hotels, bling bling, hot as fuck. Like we're on the rich person train here. For a couple seconds, she's like, "Okay, I guess I can take advantage of this because why the fuck not?" But hey, here I am. What's up going on? What's up, sir? What's up? And so she is the sole inheritor, mind you. The Hawthorne brothers, the Hawthorne family, is a huge family filled with like hella shenanigans. By the way, Hawthorne is the posh family. So this guy was part of the Hawthorne family, and I don't really know his name. It doesn't really matter, but it doesn't matter. And I said that twice already, but again, it doesn't matter. So this Hawthorne brother summons Avery Graham to the Hawthorne house to read the Hawthorne legacy, essentially. And none of the Hawthorns are in on it. As in nobody gets it. Nobody gets the fucking will. Nobody gets the cash prize, if you say. 52 something billion dollars. It's all for Avery Grams. If she stays in this house, I think it's for a whole year. And then there's like some other conditions in the will. But the brothers, I think, I forget how many brothers there are to be honest, but they were raised by this eccentric, egotistical, kind of not, yeah, definitely, like strange, neurodivergent uncle. No, grandfather, yes. He's a billionaire, he's a trillionaire, he's got hella monies. And every single Saturday, he would give these kids to keep them, out of trouble, essentially. He would give them this insane task to go find a fucking like needle in a haystack or some shit. And they would have like an hour to do it. And so they would have to, pick their brains and do the smartest thing to get this cat the thing, and then they would win the game. Every Saturday they did this, and the fucking stakes kept getting higher and higher and higher. And so they're like, you know what? We're gonna play a trick on little Miss Avery Grams. We're gonna be like, we want to figure you out. Why are you so important? Why the fuck did you get all the money? Because clearly, our uncle didn't leave us anything, but he left us you. And like that's an actual fucking quote in the book. And I was sent. I was sent. I was sat. I was here for it. And so the brain went blank for a second, but we're gonna get back on it in a second. So they try to figure out who the fuck Avery Grams is, and they go on this mission, and she's like, "What the fuck? Why am I here? I'm still trying to figure that out, but hey, what's up?" And so they give her like this set of keys to open this random door, and like only one key out of these 100 keys can open this door. And everybody's timing her. But like, unbeknownst to her, she just like finds this set of keys and she's trying to open the door. She basically opens the fucking door in 10 seconds flat compared to the rest of the guys' best time. Insane. Regardless, let's move on, right? So the story goes from there. They try to figure out what the fuck's going on with this grandpa, why Avery's mentioned in the will, and it goes from there. And you guys, mystery, shenanigans, unhinged audacity. Oh, girl, I'm here. I'm sat. I'm here. I'm listening. And that is exactly what I did. And so I went down the rabbit hole and read the entire series up until the current book that is out, which I believe is Glorious Rivals, that I read in September. And I believe the next book comes out next year or something like that. The next 5 stars. Let me get sat for this. I'm going to talk about There Are No Saints first, because the Sword of Kaigen deserves the glory, the pedestal, the time to talk about. So There Are No Saints is part of this really small novella duology. Like I think each book is like this big, the size of this manga here. Very, very small, very easy to put away in a day. I think each book in the duology has like 200 or less pages, and so I was eating this up. This is a stalker romance. FMC is this artist, and she's very much struggling. She happens upon an art gallery one day, and then you can I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm losing my fucking energy. I'm losing my voice here. So we're gonna attempt to get through this. Mind you, oh no. I guess we're already in August, you guys. So actually the video is almost done, which means, we can just keep on yapping. But let's just remind ourselves, wait, no. June, July, no, May, June, July, August. Yeah, yeah. This is the last, the last month that we're going to be talking about. So it's fine. We're almost done. And let's move the fuck on. There Are No Saints, like I said, is a soccer romance following a girl who's like an up and coming artist, but like she's hella struggling. But she goes to this art gallery and she's just like browsing around. She's got her little like what do you call it? Her little wine glass. She ends up spilling it on herself. And she's like, fuck, this fat fuck just made me spill my drink. All right, she goes to the restroom, changes it, makes it look like some. I'm just like imagining some fucking splash art. She like kind of like goes like this and goes like this, and then she looks pretty. And so she goes, she goes out, and then this guy is across the way watching her. Mind you, he's an artist himself. He produced one of the pieces that were shown at this art gallery today for the day, for the night, whatever the fuck time it is. And so he sees her spill. He sees the entire fucking scene play out. He's like, okay, that's interesting. That's like, better than all these other fuckers that are doing some shenanigans here. Let's see what this girl does. He sees her, goes to the restroom, come back out, and she's beautiful as fuck. And she's like, huh, I could do something with that. Literally. And so he's not really paying a whole lot of mind to it, but this guy, this busted ass, fugly looking, egotistical, arrogant piece of fucking shit, because he's horrible, comes up to him. He's like, oh, that's what you need? That's what you're into? I guess. The fuck? We all have our vices, I guess. And so he's also a he's a silly killer. That's what he is. He's a serial killer, but he does things very sloppily. Now, mind you, our stalker man, the guy who's watching her from across the hall, he's also a serial killer, but he does it the right way. He's the morally gray, kills the bad guys, and then makes art pieces out of them. And so, the fucked up shitty serial killer, he like sees this guy as like a rival, I guess, and so he's trying to be him but better, and but he does things very very sloppily, and he gets high as fuck when he does it. So like very messy fuck. That too, very messy fucker and very messy fuck at the same time. Also, yeah, so essentially the FMC gets kidnapped by this sloppy serial killer, and he ties her up, hog ties her in this like messy, gross, like slutty getup, and like she has a fucking ball gag in her mouth too, and he ends up throwing her, well, tossing her essentially onto Mr. Serial Killer's, like the besties, hunting grounds, burial grounds, dumping grounds is the word that I was looking for. So he walks by, and he's like, God, disgusting, and he walks off. This girl is like pleading for her fucking life. She's like, help me. I've just, I've been fucked up. I don't know what's going on, but I just want to get home. Can you help me? She's also dying, by the way. She's like actively fucking dying. He steps over her, literally just carries about his day. This man could not be unbothered. This man could not be more unbothered than he already is. So she ends up surviving. He kind of like thinks it's hot, and he starts stalking her, and the story goes from there. But I highly recommend this book. This is a silly, goofy time to go in with the silly, goofy times. If you need a break from those silly, goofy times, welcome to the insane land. Welcome to shenanigans. Welcome to unhinged land. Oh, loved it. Let's get into the best book of the month of August, in the month of 2025, in my personal opinion. That's just my opinion. The Sword of Kaiken by ML Wong. Oh my god, you guys. This is Avatar, The Last Airbender, meets Edo period Japan, basically. But also meets like some random bombers essentially. So this is like a really hard, interesting book to talk about just because there's so much going on. Mind you, this is a thick ass book. Essentially, each like family house, I guess you could call it, like is like known for these specific powers that they can have, like air, water, earth, fire, literally the whole stuff in the fucking Avatar world. But this one specific family is like the ice family. They're the water family. They got like some stuff going on, and they got like stone cold icy hearts, and they're meant to be like unfeeling. And like, what does it mean to feel? I just do the shenanigans and like hunt things down and slash with my sword and make stuff and vibes essentially. And so this dad is like very like unfeeling, very misogynistic by accident. He gets redeemed. We can talk about it later. It's fine. We can sit down and have therapy, and that's exactly what he does. I'm not gonna tell you because it's just too amazingly, beautifully unhinged, and you should go read it yourself. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. But he gets into battle with his wife, and that's their couples therapy, and that's all you need to know. Go read it yourself. It's amazing. I loved it. But essentially, this kid, because the story starts with this kid. We get two different points of views in this story. We get the kid and we get his mom. Mamoru. Mamoru, what you did to me. Oh my gosh, Jamie, if you're ever watching this, why? Why did this have to happen? It doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about it because it's a spoiler and you can read it yourself. But this guy, Mamoru, he's like 14. He's a child. He's going to school. He's making friends. He makes friends with like a foreigner. He's like a Chinese guy, I think. And his dad is an architect. Well, the foreigner's dad is an architect that came to this land to build stuff, I guess, and make things better and improve the infrastructure and the technology and stuff like that. And so they're talking, they make friends, and then he ends up like Mamoru invites him over for tea essentially. But like Mamoru kind of starts to not like this guy, but this bestie is actually like he's not like he's woken up. As in like he knows stuff that this poor indoctrinated boy, Mamoru, doesn't know. And so bestie over here ends up teaching Mamoru the real truth. And then the Mamoru has like a fucking identity crisis, but that happens later and it doesn't really matter because right now shit hits the fan and things happen and everybody goes fucking crazy. So, in this book, there's a specific battle scene that starts the entire fucking war that involves an insanely huge tornado. We don't know where it came from. And then another one popped up, and we're like, well, we're fucked. But essentially, this tornado is being controlled by a single person. I'm sorry, excuse me. We're like fucking controlling the weather now. But, anyways, it doesn't matter because this tornado initially is believed to be controlled by these four people that, or I think it's four, it's like a group of people that are around the tornado. But they're actually guarding the person inside the tornado, making the tornado so that, he doesn't die because he's very vulnerable in this position. So they end up coming upon this land and striking war upon this land. And then Mamoru, his dad, his mom, kind of, but not really, has to what do you call it? Protect everybody. An all-out war ensues. This is like Attack on Titan season, oh no, episode 1. No, yeah, kind of. Episode 4, when everybody's coming back, but everybody's still dying. As in, everybody's fighting the Titans, but everybody's still fucking dying. That's how I felt reading this book. You can't hold on to anybody because they will die. That's all I'm gonna say. But shit happens. Things keep going, and people move on. And shit happens, and shit keeps going, and people move on. And that's the entire fucking story of this book. So after the war, no, after the battle is kind of just, dissipating, but like also they still need help. The government finally comes in. Mind you, this is like fucking days later or like hours later. The government pops in. They drop bombs. What the fuck? Like just indiscriminately just tossing bombs on the fucking land. But hey, vibes. So everybody's like racing to this not animal shelter. That's stupid. This bunk shelter to like, escape the bombs. But like his mom, Mamoru's mom, is still out there like, listen, we need to help these people that are stuck in their fucking homes get to safety. And so the husband's like, bro, we need to worry about ourselves. If your besties don't make it, that's their problem. I don't care. And she's like, fuck you. I'm gonna go save my besties. And so she does. She finds bestie one in a very unfortunate position, but she survives. And then she gets her to safety, and it's a whole thing. They spend a couple days in this bunk shelter. People are like coming to that their loved ones are dead, and so it's a whole thing. People are fucking grieving. They're crying. Women, the children are like hysterically sobbing. The women are they're going through it. They're going through the grief, but they end up surviving. And the next day, like by the recovery process, the rebuilding process has to be done within the government, and the father is like the governor of this town essentially, so he helps control the not control but like helps rebuild with the population, like he's the one in charge, right? And so the government comes, and essentially the fucking dad has to not play dead, but like sit down and take it. He has to be treated like a fucking bitch, and he has to just take it and say, yes sir, thank you so much, may I have another? And the wife's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This stone cold hearted man is just lying down and getting fucked in the ass and taking it? Oh hell no, this is not the man I married." And so the story goes from there. The mother and father don't like have the best relationship, but like they work on it. They work through their troubles. But like this is the most like character driven, story driven book that I have ever read, and the character growth Like, some people just have to die for you to get it. And so, like, some people just have to die for people to get their shit together and be like, listen, huh, come by, y'all. Everything's great. We're gonna fucking like grow up and learn what it's about and learn what it's like to be okay. And like, we just have to deal with it and move on. And it's just, it was a book. It was a book. I gave it 5 fucking stars, left no crumbs. Emma Wong, you got me fucked up, but it's okay because I loved it and I will thank you and I will ask for another book and I will read your book. And, you know, again, the cycle will continue. But that was X amount of time of shenanigans. I will put the timestamp up here. But this is part 2 of all of the best books that I read in 2025. Thank you so much for the shenanigans. As you can tell, I'm deeply hysterically unhinged at the moment because I'm tired. And all the medications are on a scheduled time for the benefits. And so they start to after 5 o'clock. And so your girl needs to go to bed because I need to get up early as fuck in the morning. I'm going to really make a solid attempt to go to bed at 7 o'clock. Probably won't happen. Get up at 3 in the morning. Probably won't happen. To work out and then go to work at 5:30. Will it actually happen? Time will tell. But anyways, if you like the video, come back for more. If you like the video, I don't know why you would. No, I'm just kidding. I know exactly why you would because you and me, we understand each other. But you know what you should do? You should subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss when I upload a brand new video. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and if you had the same opinion as me that these books were fucking amazing and I would literally like hold them dear to my chest as I'm dying in the grave and be like, these are the books that I will take with me. Yes. Or if you didn't like them, why the fuck wouldn't you like them? So you should tell me in the comments and convince me that I'm just hysterically unhinged, even though I already know that. And then maybe convince me that these books aren't as good, rather, as I thought they were. They were. And so now that I've said everything that I've had to say for the moment in time, I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. And I'm so excited because guess what, besties? We're going to be doing a couple things. A couple of things may happen. We will either talk about my childhood books that I miss so much. We will either talk about my January TBR, or we will talk about the books that I read in 2025 that were the best, but like part 3. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I will see you guys next time, and I'm so excited. So, bye, guys.